Matt Porter, Chief Tasting Officer, Master Blender for Barrel King here, telling you about the September releases for Barrel King. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, I'm going over batches 115 and 116, the September 2025 releases for Barrel King. September is coming in hot, hot, hot. Batch 115 is in our fantasy collection line, and batch 116 is a Hazmat 140 proof 18-year American light whiskey. We're gonna start off first with this bad boy. This is batch 115 fantasy collection. This is called Dreamsicle. Dreamsicle consists of 95.5 MGP rye whiskey finished in Grand Marnier barrels, blended with 12-year 36% MGP bourbon, blended with the leftovers of the ancient Indiana batch from July, little bit of low rye 8-year MGP bourbon, and then topped off with some chocolate vanilla stag finished 4.5-year 21% MGP bourbon. That's a lot that went into this blend. That smells so good. You know how when you're sitting on the sidewalk of your favorite parade and all the fire trucks are driving by, like, and all the horses are walking by, and then all the class of this year, class of that year, they're all just driving by in the parade and they're all chucking candy at you. Reminds me of parade candy. Like Tootsie Pops and Tootsie Rolls, like the blue Tootsie Roll and the orange Tootsie Roll. It's like a vanilla Tootsie Roll and an orange Tootsie Roll and chocolate Tootsie Roll all like bound up into a smell. If those Tootsie Rolls could also get you slambasted or whatever. That is a beautiful nose. There's also some hard candy there, which I think the Tootsie Pop comes from. It's like the outer shell, the hard candy shell. The more you nose this, the more some spice starts to come from it. A little bit of spice is starting to fumigate from the glass's orifice. Let's put batch 115 where it belongs, inside of me. Wow. That is like elegant. It is delicate and elegant. It's delicate. It is creamy and chocolatey and like candy and just, wow, that is good. This is dreamy. Second sip. 113.4 proof. Wow. There's such a long lingering chocolate finish here, and it's not like an artificial chocolate. It's like a legitimate, real deal chocolate. The finish on this tastes like that super legit, like creamy, soft chocolate that you get from some other country that knows what they're doing with chocolate. And then they feed it to you, and then you're like, wow, I'm gonna move there. And they're like, no, too fat. Third sip. This is so gently soft and creamy that it just like slowly coats the sides of the tongue, the sides of the mouth. It like slowly coats the palate. Imagine like you were running away from a lava spill out of a volcano, but it weren't that. It were a Willy Wonka style volcano, and it's like slow chocolate, and you're like trying to get away from it, but you don't have to try very hard because it's so slow moving. It's like that wave of chocolate volcanic magma is so gentle and you didn't expect it, and then it's just like running and like coating your mouth. It's a protectant. I'm pretty sensitive to overfinished things, and this is not even remotely close to being overfinished. It's just spectacular. If you're into sweets like me, you'll definitely be into 115. Batch 115 is a prime example of how spectacular these fantasy collection labels can be. Now, let's move on to the big show. Moving on to batch 116, but before I do, if you want to become a Barrel King Gold member, click on the link in the description below. Best part about being a Barrel King Gold member? The whiskey. The second best part about being a Barrel King Gold member is there's no commitment necessary. If you need to pause your membership or if you need to cancel your membership, it's not a big deal. We don't need to have you contractually obligated to be a member for 12 months. No, our whiskey does that talking for us. So, batch 116, proof does fluctuate. So when these are bottled, it could be slightly higher or maybe a tinge lower, but mine came in at 140.4 proof. This is 18 years old, and it is American light whiskey. This is a super special pour. American light whiskeys go through cycles where people love them, then people aren't so hot about them, then people love them again. And this is a super hot time for American light whiskey, and I'm super pumped that we at Barrel King have our hands on these barrels, and we sat on them long enough to let them see the age and the flavor profile they're currently at. I tasted this blind on my live stream last Friday. I gave it a score of 90 plus points, but since the flavor profile stood out a little bit, I kind of removed it from the blind flight because I didn't want to look biased. But I do want to say this: when this hits your palate, you know what it is. It is an exceptionally prominent, pronounced, pragmatic. It's really good. The nose on 118 is like sugar daddy caramel. Sugar daddy caramel, brown sugar. A lot of times on light whiskeys, what I'm looking for on the nose is something I get a ton of, and that's like this purple rock candy that, you know, like the rock candies that you get at the fair or whatever, and they were all like crystallized and stuff like that. For some reason on like 14-year-old, 15-year-olds, like on those light whiskeys that were aged and delicious, I got a ton of that rock candy. But as this ages further and further, this 18-year seems to transition out of that sugary rock candy and becomes more mature and more like gentler and softer and extra sweet. And then we're starting to pick up on some oak characteristics on the nose that we didn't get on the light whiskeys when they were like 14 and 15 years old. Those were super, super good. But as these get a little bit older and sitting in hot climates, of course, in friggin' Bourbon, Missouri, things start to happen inside the barrel. And what we're getting here is basically something that's softer, but not softer. It's like a gentle giant. You smell it and you're like, wow, you are an enormous man with bulging everything. But you are so sweet and gentle, you couldn't hurt a mouse. And then we get into the palate and you're like, good God, man. Put the world down. You are aggressive and you are so strong. Here's my wallet. Yeah, wow. There is so much happening here. Toasted marshmallows and caramels and brown sugars, and just like, it is so sweet and so beautiful. Let's put this hazmat in that. Down the hatch. That was a big sip. Wow. Wow. That. Wow. It's like waves. It is waves crashing against the shore. Waves of flavor just all over my face. And I love it so bad. I go through phases where I love light whiskey also. One of my favorite light whiskeys of all time was Old Carter American. Some of the older ones, like batch 4 of Old Carter American light whiskey, totally my jam. I think it was my 2020 whiskey of the year. I don't have a bottle of that now to compare this with, but I think this is my favorite light whiskey of all time. The maturation process is different because light whiskey is aged in used barrels. They're not aged in new American oak. So the maturation process is slowed. And since it's so high corn and such high proof, it leaves a lot of jagged edges even at really old ages. This is not that. This is so, it's like it's been sanded and polished, and like all the sharp corners and all the things that are prickly and pointy. The roughness of the light whiskey has been completely dulled into this magnificent hazmat aged experience. The oak that's on the back end of this is not like anything I've tasted in a light whiskey before. If you love light whiskey, this is 100% something that you have to try. If you've never tried light whiskey, but you want to try like the cream of the crop, the point of the pinnacle or whatever, this is the best of the best. This is light whiskey at its finest. How does it do that? It's so big, but so gentle. It's like a caramel oil is just like dispersed through your mouth, and then you can just feel it like running down your cheeks. and I love oil running down my cheeks. If you are a Barrel King Gold member, you will be all over these 2 pours for September. If you are not a Barrel King Gold member, you are missing out, and I mean that. Click on the link in the description below. Give Barrel King a shot. You won't be disappointed. And if you are, I won't call you any names publicly. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you in the next video. Love you guys so much. Big hugs and kisses. I'm out of here. September coming in hot. Hot, hot, hot. September's coming in hot, hot, hot.